Ever wonder if your students really understand what they've read? One way to find out is to get them to summarize it. Poorly done summaries are usually either too long or too short. If they're too long, it could be because the student can't decide what's important, so they write down everything they can remember just to be safe. If they're too short, it could be because nothing was able to stand out for them in the sea of details, so they actually don't remember much. Good summaries contain only the most important information. But how are students to tell the difference between what is truly important and what is simply detail? Here's one of many exercises you can use to help students actively listen to decide what's important. It's called Cloning an Author, and it was developed by Jerome Harst, a literacy scholar from Indiana University. Like many good exercises, it imposes an interesting set of constraints to isolate the areas needing work. In this case, attention and judgment. To demonstrate this, I'll be reading a short, accessible piece of information text, about 500 words in length. Simply tell students they're going to listen for what is important so they can summarize the whole text in only 7 concise sentences. Don't tell them what the text is about beforehand. The point is to let them tell you that. You can pause here to look over the steps whenever you need. Have each student start with a blank piece of paper and get them to rip it up into 10 pieces. Then, for this first guided attempt, have them listen to the text as you recite it fluently. Tell them that as you read, they are to listen carefully and write down what they think are the 10 most important words they hear. Let them know you'll read it twice so they can feel secure. It'll take some practice, but they'll eventually measure the importance of their words against the overall content of the text. For this demonstration, let's assume the students have already heard you read it once. Now they're feeling a little more secure about determining what's important. So let's start. You carry around a 3-pound mass of wrinkly material in your head that controls every single thing you will ever do. From enabling you to think, learn, create, and feel emotions, to controlling every blink, breath, and heartbeat. This fantastic control center is your brain. It is a structure so amazing that a famous scientist once called it the most complex thing we have yet discovered in our universe. Your kitten is on the kitchen counter. She's about to step onto a hot stove. You have only seconds to act. Accessing the signals coming from your eyes, your brain quickly calculates when, where, and at what speed you will need to dive to intercept her. Then it orders your muscles to do so. Your timing is perfect and she's safe. No computer can come close to your brain's awesome ability to download, process, and react to the flood of information coming from your eyes, ears, and other sensory organs. Your brain contains about 100 billion microscopic cells called neurons. So many it would take you over 3,000 years to count them all. Whenever you dream, laugh, think, see, or move, it's because tiny chemical and electrical signals are racing between these neurons along billions of tiny neuron highways. Believe it or not, the activity in your brain never stops. Countless messages zip around inside it every second like a supercharged pinball machine. Your neurons create and send more messages than all the phones in the entire world. And while a single neuron generates only a tiny amount of electricity, all your neurons together can generate enough electricity to power a low wattage bulb. A bee lands on your bare foot. Sensory neurons in your skin relay this information to your spinal cord and brain at a speed of more than 241 kilometers per hour. Your brain then uses motor neurons to transmit the message back through your spinal cord to your foot to shake off the bee quickly. Motor neurons can relay this information at more than 322 kilometers per hour. Riding a bike seems impossible at first, but soon you master it. How? As you practice, your brain sends bike riding messages along certain pathways of neurons over and over, forming new connections. In fact, the structure of your brain changes every time you learn, as well as whenever you have a new thought or memory. It is well known that any exercise that makes your heart beat faster, like running or playing basketball, is great for your body and can even help improve your mood. But scientists have recently learned that for a period of time after you've exercised, your body produces a chemical that makes your brain more receptive to learning. So if you're stuck on a homework problem, go out and play a game of soccer. Then try the problem again. You might discover that you're able to solve it. Now Now that they have the benefit of hindsight, invite them to consider carefully and eliminate the 3 least important words from among their 10. Then choose one from among the remaining 7 that is the most important word. If they feel it should be something other than what they have, they can add a word. Now comes the summary. Construct a sentence around each of the 7 or 8 words. Students will have to recall why those words came to their attention and why they were judged to be important. Since students can only have 7 words to build their summary, they have no choice but to consider which are the most important. This will help students who tend to write too much. 7 words will also be a good scaffold for those who write too little. Once students know how the procedure works by going through the exercise once or twice with you, invite them to practice it further on their own, using their own text that they read silently to themselves. Have fun!